lose all sense of reality and enter another world. Remember, do not underestimate the power of PlayStation.
Rob from England writes into beyond at ign.com just like you can and says, Dear Greg, Colin, and Marty, Beyond. From jolly old England. Oh. A couple of years ago, you said how you were expecting Uncharted 4 to be... No, weeks ago. I was like, what? A couple of weeks ago, you said how you were expecting Uncharted 4 to be delayed until next year. See, I confused those lines. And then it got me thinking. When it was announced Tomb Raider was going to be a timed exclusive for Xbox One, it was rumored that this was done so it didn't clash with Uncharted 4 on PS4. With the expectation that Uncharted won't be out until next year, do you think Sony are regretting the decision, that should be the decision to delay the PS4 Tomb Raider? Or... do you think this will get just pushed back more? So he's asking, did Sony make a mistake? Is Sony regretting pushing Uncharted into the Tomb Raider timeframe?
I don't think that Sony had anything to do with that.
I mean, I don't think anyone's pushed anything.
Yeah, I mean,
and also this, like, trust me, this we don't think it's coming out in 2015 thing is just opinion. This is not based on any
educated
sort of
Greg Miller opinion is what it is.
Yes.
Yeah,
exactly.
they haven't identified a date yet, which is interesting. I mean, I know that when Uncharted 2 and especially Uncharted 3 were, like, we knew the dates this far out.
Oh, really?
So remember, like the one,
remember
like
the VGA reveal for Uncharted 3, right?
Yeah, which was
like,
11/1/11 or whatever.
Yeah. They didn't like that. That put them under the gun, and then it was
exactly.
A big
So
deal
I agree with you that it's totally possible that happens. I think that they'll know
Probably.
more. I think that they'll know in September, like really close, like September or early October. They'll be like, we're going to push the game. I think they're going to try. I think they're trying. I think
I guarantee not.
I don't think it's one of those cagey things though, like where it's like with
Arkham
Arkham Knight, where they're of course the game's not coming out this year. But there's a few things in there that need to be addressed. First of all, Sony, we don't know still the exact nature of that Tomb Raider exclusivity, and I like. To me, it seems like something that Square Enix and Microsoft would have worked out together to, with the knowledge that Uncharted might come out around the fall and that Tomb Raider would suffer on PS4, which made the decision easier to make it an exclusive on the other console. Because if you own a PS4 and Uncharted and Tomb Raider come out in the same month and you have $60, you're going to buy Uncharted.
Yeah.
I really can't imagine anyone's going to be like, well, I'm going to buy Tomb Raider. Yeah. I'm not saying that Tomb Raider is going to be a bad game or that the other Tomb Raider is bad. I'm just saying Uncharted is like almost unbeatable. So if this Uncharted 4 game is as good as Uncharted 3 and Uncharted 2 were, then the choice is made. So it doesn't hurt Square Enix or whoever, in terms of the publishing rights for the game. Yeah. But Sony certainly didn't have any say in that. I'm sure that Sony would like the game as soon as possible. I still don't quite understand the nature of the exclusivity because this was the big story out of E3, which is like exclusive doesn't even mean anything anymore. Like I remember when they announced that and I'm like, they're going to make a Tomb Raider exclusively for Xbox?
Yeah.
I'm like, that's cool. That makes sense because they don't have a game like Uncharted.
Sure.
And even what was really cool was even Phil Spencer was like, we don't have a game as good as Uncharted. I mean, he said that. Yeah. Not those exact words, but he said something along those lines. Like, we don't have something of this caliber was basically what he was saying.
Yeah.
So it makes sense.
Marty.
Well, you guys remember that quote, right? What did he say? He said something like
I'll
that.
look it up for you.
So it would be cool for them to have that. With that said, I don't think the timing is consequential to Microsoft or Square Enix or Crystal Dynamics.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, it's also funny because at this point we've seen a lot more. I guess not a lot more, just because of the PSX demo, we've seen quite a bit more of Uncharted 4 than we have of Rise of the Tomb Raider.
Right.
Like, we don't know what that game looks like in action. All we still have is that CG trailer from E3. And so when is if that game is a fall game, if it's an October or November game, which I would imagine they're going to try to space it out from Halo, which will, undoubtedly be a November game. When are we going to get that re-reveal? When are we going to see gameplay? Are they going to wait all the way till E3 and then, have just a 4-month preview cycle until it gets released in October? I don't know. I found that hard to believe. And we don't have a lot of big events until E3.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I mean, there's PAX East, but there's not a lot of
They're not going to make a giant
East.
announcement.
Yeah, there's GDC. I guess.
You get GDC stuff every
Yeah, like I think one of the Battlefield 4, I think, had a big
PlayStation
event.
Move.
I found the quote.
Rest in peace. Phil Spencer talked to Eurogamer in August of 2014. Quote, do I wish I had an owned IP first-party action-adventure game? Absolutely, but I don't right now. And speaking of Tomb Raider, this is one that fits well. Then, I'm a big fan of Uncharted, and I wish we had an action-adventure game of that ilk. We've started some, and we've looked at them, but we don't have one today of that quality. This partnership with publisher Square Enix is an opportunity.
Yeah, so it's interesting. He's very candid.
He's a good dude. I love that
respect about
Phil
him.
Spencer. Taking that Shuhei Yoshida.
Plus, he brought iDarb over to Xbox One, which is that crack.
Yeah,
I
that
said
game's
track, yeah.
real good.
Yeah, real fun.
It's actually a hashtag. I don't know if you. It's like hashtag Drive Club.
Users lose all sense of reality and enter another world. Remember, do not underestimate the power of PlayStation.